After quite a delay today, but that's all right. We're agile, aren't we? We deal with late breaking news and adjust and move forward. That's what we do. That's what agilists do, right? Speaking of that, today's topic should be pretty interesting. The name of today's episode is intentional. It is Agile equals Star Wars, a solo cast. Now, many of you probably are going to say, well, Han Solo wasn't a Jedi, but we can go to his son, Ben. So it all ties together. So anybody that wants to argue, bring it on. I ended up here because Bob's out sick today, and I was working through what can I talk about that is not something we already planned to discuss. So I was looking around my room, trying to figure out something to talk through, and I looked at my rug. I have a rug in my office, and it happens to be a Star Wars rug. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know how, as an insane Star Wars fan, insane enough to name his firstborn child Leia, just like in Star Wars, that I never equated these two things. I never realized that the world of Agile, the Jedi's versus the Sith. Let me start over. In the world of Agile, we have little a Agile and big A Agile. Big A Agile is a monolith. It's something that's coming at you, always bearing down on you from all sides. There's nothing you can do. Little A Agile is a lot more simple. It's a mindset, it's a thought process, it's a willingness to read and react to what's going on. For those of you that are big Star Jeez, I cannot talk today. For those of you that are big Star Wars fans, you'll start to see some similarities to Little A Agile. True agilists, if that's even a word, are the Jedi. Everything else is on the dark side. So this is going to certainly ruffle some feathers, and it kind of flies in the face of one of my super good friends and co-host Bob, who does a lot of training, and other friends I have like Ryan Ripley, the story points or trash guy, who makes a ton of money off of training. That's their livelihood. I see you. So I think it's all part of the industrial complex of Agile, in that if you can get a certificate for it, it's not really Agile. You think about the Jedi training, and it was a lot of learning as an apprentice, of learning by doing, learning by having your hands on, as opposed to the Sith and the Emperor. His approach is, we're going to make a ton of robots to be our army, or we're going to create an army of clones to go take over the world, take over the galaxy. Trying to take the shortcut, the easy way. You've heard me equate safe to evil. Safe is part of the evil empire, and that people are looking for that one simple fix for them to become agile and have the power that they need to dominate all of the projects, all of the products in their way. So that would require training. That would require, as a stormtrooper, how do I operate? What do I do? I get handed a gun just like everybody else. How do I fire it? How do we march? As a TIE fighter pilot, there's obviously training that goes into that. Everybody does the same thing. It's that one size fits all. Whereas we know true agile isn't that. True agile molds itself like water, learns how to operate best in the situation that it's in. It doesn't know what the answer is, but it knows it can figure it out with enough time. And that's how the Jedi's work. They don't have this large structure. They have a small council that sits at the top that kind of says, hey, this is who we want to be. This is who we are. These are the things we're going to allow, the things we're not going to allow. And that's it. There is no giant charter. There is no 3x5 poster of this is your map to success. You go and buy these certificates for all of your people. You get them trained up on all of these things so they fit in these little cubes, and you're going to win. But we know that's not true. Now, I am not a training guy. That's not how I grew in the agile space. I grew as an operator. So I certainly tend and skew towards training isn't the answer. While training can help, unfortunately, too many people view that training as a binary gate. Once I have that training, I'm good. I'm done. I don't need anything else. And I know that's not what Ryan and Bob are selling. Ryan and Bob are giving people the path. But unfortunately, too many people consume it not in that manner. And they perceive it as I am now qualified to do X, Y, and Z. There have been numerous times that I've been to companies where their solution to going agile was we sent 5 people to the Scrum Master training or maybe product owner training, and they're going to come back and they're going to teach us all. How does that make sense? How does it make sense for you to send someone to a 2 week golf lesson? Maybe they go there, it's fully immersive. They live, sleep, eat, breathe golf. You then expect them to come home and teach an entire organization how to be professional golfers, meaning they are now some of the best in the world. It doesn't work like that. That's not a good way to grow an organization and to transform the way they operate. Okay, I clearly have to catch up on chat since I called Ryan part of the evil empire, part of the dark side. So yeah, this is clearly a short one, just because it's me and there's nothing to bounce things off of Bob and to let Bob go carrying on for another 45 minutes. But I think I am going to lean into this one a little bit because the parallels are really there, and we've seen that empire, that dark side, grow and become more strong as we see more and more people trying to understand what this agile thing. Unfortunately, they're taking the shortcut. They want that easy button, as Bob would say, as opposed to that very long journey of becoming a Jedi. Think about how long Anakin went on training with Obi-Wan, and he was still an apprentice. A decade, maybe even more, and he still wasn't there. But he was learning by doing. So somehow, I'm going to find a way to get us back to balance. Because if you remember, like the true Star Wars nerd that I am, the Jedi, all they wanted was balance in the Force. That didn't mean the dark side was gone. It was just balance. As opposed to the dark side, who wanted to rule everything and destroy it all and replace it with what they thought was right. So they wanted everybody to do safe. And that's it. Just keep doing safe. We've got all your answers. Just keep buying everything you need from us. We got you covered. Okay. So that's today's solo cast, pun intended, about how Agile and Star Wars are the same thing. Thank you to Ryan and Steven for coming in, as always. Story points needed to, yeah. Well, do you think the dark side would use story points? I think they would. I think they would because they want that single answer, and there would be that endless debate around what do story points mean? Is it effort? Is it complexity? Is it something else? And then there would be a 100-page document written up on what is a story point, and that would be bad. So that's the whole theory. I'm listen, I'm done recording, but I'm happy to talk through this if this struck a chord with anybody, or there's things you want to talk. They like make believe. Uh, David, are you another story point hater? Did Ryan loop you into this? Because if he did, yeah, we're gonna duke it out. So yeah, I would love to hear holes poked in that theory, because again, I'm recording this at 11:44. I thought of it at 10:55. Logo over comments. Yep, that is correct. There we go. It's gone now. So okay. David. Just because it's misused doesn't mean it's bad. Hey, you open the door, Ryan. Don't say here we go. You open the door. You started it with the Death Star and how many story points would be needed. All right, we won't open that can of worms. I don't want to explode Ryan's head on a Friday for the weekend. So, thank you all for hanging out, jumping in the chat. It's good to see you here. And I'll get this mini episode out on Monday morning as normal. All right. We'll see you all when we see you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, David. That's a good way to end it. Oh, I can't leave with this one. Mr. Ripley has assured me it was unintentional, that he was not trying to steal my thunder with the Wednesday noon AMA, as I told him in Discord, because he offered to change it after I poked him about it. I was debating whether I asked him to change the time or date or whatever. Between that and just keeping it so I could absolutely crush him in our competition for Wednesday noon time slot, the most coveted of all time slots. Uh, and then this morning, I threw out an idea of maybe we just unite. Maybe let's not compete. Maybe let's cooperate. So that's something we can talk through. Ryan and I'll sort that out. I am in Disney with the kids next week, so there's certainly not going to be a AMA for me. But Ryan, I think let's keep talking about that. Whether you think uniting forces makes sense or whatever the options are. So, because I do get that, like, there's a handful of times that actually work for you and a partner, because Bob and I are the same way. So, we shall chat. All right, y'all. I just said y'all, and I'm not really from North Carolina, but I did. I'll see everybody on the internet somewhere, some chat room or on a tweet or LinkedIn or who knows what. See you, everybody.